Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. All right, so today, very important, we're going to go over compounding factors and why penetration values won't mean shit for Stam players moving forward. I have such a hard time exploiting a system. I really wanted to play by the rules, right? I really did. By whatever. I used to keep certain things to myself, right? Because the meta players, after 7 years, haven't figured out a lot of things. And who am I to pop their bubble? Oh, that's right. I do it all the time anyways. Moving on. So the funny thing about it is, today we're going to demonstrate the values, the compounding. Okay, so my background, I used to work as, in financing. And I always have to use, I was very young. I was one of the youngest probably in my field. I was 19. And I used to have to explain compounding interest to individuals at 19 when they were in their 30s and 40s. It's kind of crazy, right? But these compounding factors are relevant, and it's percentage-based math. And of course, we also, when we look at investments, we have diminishing returns and whatever. So that's how all of this is relevant. That's how I'm aware of all of these factors. Penetration is very important in this game. I'm not denouncing penetrating value. It is a relevant factor, but once you scale beyond a point, we're forcing damage based on what? Compounding factors, right? Due to scaling. So we're exploiting the modifiers to do what? Raise the damage so high that the penetrating value becomes less detrimental for the Stam tunes, and thus can supersede the mag's value, because the mag will over penetrate, which they become fixed. Okay, so it becomes a fixed value. I'd like to, if you got a mortgage, I guess, well, maybe that's a hard way to explain it, but if you have a mortgage, think of a fixed versus a variable rate. Okay, so we have a fixed rate with the mag, which seems nice, right? It seems nice. But now we have a variable with Stam that is what? Adjusted. Why? Because of its passives, right? Into the medium armor. Because it gives it a base. So when we go down to the medium armor, we get that agility. That's a percentage value, right? But when we go back into the light armor, we have another what? Penetration that isn't percentage, it's fixed per. Okay? Keep that in mind as we're going through this stream. Okay? Just heads up. This is why the meta players will never, ever trump me. It'll never fucking happen. I promise you. Okay. So, simple. We're going to start off very simple. I'm going to keep this as simplistic as possible. Okay. So, I want you guys to take a look at my character sheet. First off, we see a weapon damage of 4595. Keep that number in the back of your head at all times. Okay. 4595. Okay. Very, very important. Now, really quick, I'm going to go ahead and just hit with a brawl real quick. Okay? Nothing crazy. Okay. So we got a 10-7. We got a 6-5 base. Okay? Alright. Now, remember the 4-9, forget it, 4-5-9-5. Okay, we're going to take this, right? We're going to, because my currently, My mundus is the lover. Okay. Very, 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 very important. We're going to switch this. Now, we're going to look. Now we've increased the value of our weapon damage by 367. Now, what I want you to do is take a calculator out. Okay? I want you to take 4595. I'm getting mine out. Plus, right? The value is 367. And our total should be 4,962. Right? Everybody get that? It's right there. It's right there. But does it add up? Does it add up? No. Because we're at 5,039. What? What? But how? But Mystic, how? Compounding factors. Percentage base value, remember, the medium armor has already been a set fix due to how many pieces of medium we have. However, the passive into what? Our Fighters Guild abilities is still percentage base, increasing the value of our weapon damage by 9% because of the abilities we have slotted. Thus, the value exceeds the flat rate. Oh, yeah, baby. Morning, Harold. What's up? I hope you're having a good day. You have a good day at work today, dude. I'm glad you stopped in. So there it is. There it is. Right. So we also had a base of 6-9 on our swing. So, we'll lose damage, initially. But not much. Now, here's why I'm telling you penetration is going to become more irrelevant. Because now our penetration went down to 1,650 from 5,000. Right? So let's go ahead and hit that lever just to make sure. And now we're back up almost 6. But we only lost a few hundred. But what if I was to glyph a jewelry? Would the same rule apply? Well, let's find out. So, 4595, back to the base. We have a recovery, right? And we're going to enchant it. 174. So, once again, take out your calculator. You're going to clear. So, you're going to put 4,495. 4495 plus 174. And what do we have? We should have 4,669 weapon damage. Do we? No. Now, if we were to take the lover again, or the warrior again, I mean, we raise this value even further. Now we're at 5.2. And now when we go back to the target dummy, our base is 624. You see what I'm saying? Anytime we're going to get a buff, Spell Power Cure, Powerful Assault, anything that scales the value of the weapon damage, the less penetrating value we're going to need. Because we're never going to achieve what? Our tooltip. We're never going to achieve the base value of our tooltip, which is 6-9 base. But we don't need all the penetrating value because we're exploiting the system with what? The compounding factors. So more weapon damage, the less pen you need. And that is why the meta players will never be in my league. Right now, I'm in the veg state. I just woke up. I don't start ready till 5-4. Oh, you're West Coast, man. Okay. I'm East Coast. I feel you, man. I feel you. But, yeah. This is why the meta players will never be on my league. They'll never be on my level. Never. Never. They'll never be able to compete. The only thing they know how to do is read a metrics, but they don't know what. The numbers themselves or the fundamentals behind them to properly exploit them. But when you have somebody with my background, it's a walk in the park. So it's like, okay. So I need a minimal of penetrating value to an extent, but you know, I can get away with a sharpened trait, take the warrior, and then I can do what? Increase the base value on the scale factor. Just that simple. You get what I'm saying? They're a joke. They're a fucking joke. They don't know numbers. They never did. That's why I became a content creator. That's why. This is exactly why I became a content creator. There was a lot of misinformation that people were saying about BIS, which is not applicable in this game. Why? Because I could get around their best in slots and, you know, whatever. Now, I do have the kill on. And technically, this could be a BIS based on what? Configuration. Because it's a one item slot, whatever. And typically in a traditional MMO setting, this would be referred as a BIS pending, right, configuration. Once again, I mean, it's a numbers game. It's what it is. This is what this is. It's always been a numbers game. And I mean, their builds are fine. They'll get you through content, so I'm not ragging on their builds. But to put them in my league, that'll never fucking happen, I promise you. That'll never fucking happen. They better put down the fucking crack pipe. But this is kind of this is what it is. The stamina can achieve a higher value than the mags because of the fixated rate that mag has to endure versus the percentage value or the adjusted value that Stam has for its assets. And because of that factor, we can do what? Scale to a higher percentage value, or use the percentage value to our favor to what? Decrease the amount of penetrating value that's typically required, because also that's a fixated rate at which mag will what? Be overvalued at one point or another, thus cannot supersede their marginal gain. There's no gain that can be, it's not a scalable gain as much as it is for stamina. Stamina has a much more scalable ceiling, a higher ceiling than the mags do. And because of that, the higher the buffs get applied, like Warhorn, well, not Warhorn, but like Spell Power Cure, Powerful Assault, any adjustments to their weapon damage basically will magnify their output ratio considerably. And it will do it for mag too, but they won't scale higher than the Stam based on the factors of the percentage values. It's just math. It is what it is. You can hate me for it. They're gonna fucking, like I said, don't come in here questioning me. You can troll me, you can hate me all day long. But once again, I'm the one who told you guys the penetrating values. I told you how to adjust for penetration. I told you about the diminishing returns. I've told you time and time. I've always went back to the numbers. And I've kept it very, very, I try to teach people from a very simplistic standpoint. Is this an arrogant video? You might perceive it that way. Because, I'm just going to say it. They're not the brightest, they're not the sharpest tool in the shed. They're just not. They still, after all this time, they still haven't even figured these concepts out. They don't understand the fundamentals. And because of that, I can rag on them all day long. I can. It's just, it is the way, it is what it is. I mean, does everybody, understand this? I'd imagine not. You'd have to study this type of math. But once again, it's a specific type of math. There's a lot of different forms of math. I suck at calculus. So, hey, man, there you have it. I'm not a mathematician. But when it comes to percentage values, compounding factors, and diminishing returns, and all of these things, it was relevant. So I can apply my knowledge to these applications. But at the end of the day, there it is. It's not going to mean shit for the Stam players. They can get away with bare minimal. That's the fact. That's what's crazy. Y'all better crazy. Okay, next update. It's how they build their system. Right, exactly. It's a part of the game system. That's exactly what it is, Harold. That is the factor. Now, can ZOS make the adjustments for MAG and, appropriate the values? Yeah, they could. They very much could. Or could they nerf, some of these factors on, for stamina? They could, but then once again, they'd have to associate what? The missing values in proportion. See, the funny thing is a lot of players don't realize ZeniMax is already aware of all of this as well. ZeniMax actually determines the values based on what? Their systems, right? They have tools that they can actually, I don't want to say, don't think of it as a hard cap as much as how it all equates, right? When they're running, tests on anything that they're going to put out, they run tests on. They run simulations. They have simulators. So when they put a gear out, they'll run. It can run tons of simulations. So when it's not like they're going in blind, they're aware of it. Do they make the adjustments? Well, yeah. It does some things, might go under the radar time to time. But majority of this, and that's why we talk about indifferent values, because the indifferent values are apparent to what? Race to class. And because of that, ZeniMax is already aware of what can be achieved and how to adjust accordingly. So I think, and these are like things like I've never wanted to really talk about, because it's like, I don't want to give people bad habits and try to exploit a percentage-based modifier to their gain, because of the misconception, because they still want to understand it majority of the time. They would just keep stacking, but they wouldn't, unfortunately realize there comes a diminishing value even to what? Gain, right? And that's problematic as well. So, because you also have what? Critical modifiers, and you have crit chance and things like that have to be applied in, configuring your builds. But overall, yeah, that's how we do it. That's how compounding factors work, ladies and gentlemen. You're all welcome again. And the Stam will always get to cap easier than MAG to get proc sets to work. Yeah, absolutely. Or close to, oh yeah, definitely. That's the issue right now, I think, on the forums. I think people are mentioning that. And I've said that. I said that's a problematic, because when I went over it, I said, these values cannot be achieved in the same way. They can't. Wrong tube on the copy. Anyways, that's the problem. So MAG's actually taking a nerf bat to proc even further. Now, PvP, that's even more detrimental due to the fact that we have effects that ignore penetration, like bleeds, right? Now, a lot of people say Oblivion can do the same thing. Well, Stam can use Oblivion too, but it's a fixed value. I don't know what content creator would exploit Oblivion where ZOS felt like they had to cap it. Fucking bastard. I hope they don't ever let that person, exploit another mechanic in the game again. That person ruined it for everybody. Anybody know who that was? Please tell him to fuck off. Bastard. Anyways. Yeah. So, yeah. Everyone wants to know why I get Nerf bats. More stuff they will nerf or buff if someone cries loud enough. Right. But I think certain content creators that are they are talented. They're talented individuals. I give them their credit. I really do. I in that essence, I pay them homage. Right? They're able to clear content. Their builds are very structured. And they're very coordinated. And that within itself is a skill set. So I do not diminish their coordination or their achievements or their progression in the game whatsoever. But when it comes down to understanding the numbers, no. No. They're a few bricks short of a house, man. A few bricks short of even building a porch. So, jeez. Yeah, it's just the way it is. But overall, yeah, we exploit the percentage-based modifier, scale the compounding factor. The more we achieve this, the less penetrating value we need. And thus, if any other content creator tells you otherwise, well, what's that old saying I keep referring to? Proof is in the pudding. Thanks, Harold, for talking to me this morning. Thank you, everybody. And I know, I'm an asshole. But I'm your asshole. Thank you for watching. And as always, have a nice day.